In this episode, we make Nigel's Den, where Nigel plans out his adventures alongside his four-winged companions, Microraptor, welcome to the ultimate wildlife sanctuary. Welcome to Prehistoric Park. What's up, everyone? It's Moral, back with another Prehistoric Park episode. Today we are making Nigel's Den and the Microraptor pens. So this one was the longest I've ever spent on a build, mainly because of all the little details and items he has around, props, bookshelves and books and lampshades and globes and maps and papers. It's just so much like clutter. He's a little bit like me in that way because my desk is just cluttered with all kinds of like paper and stuff all the time. I always have to move stuff out of my way. But we're getting right into it here. First thing first, we have to start off on the treetop structure, I guess. So this was the worst part of the whole build. Trying to figure out where things go, what things work where, because this is based on Croc World, a place in South Africa. It's a really cool place. A lot of stuff's been there. I think we talked about it before. Most likely we have. There's a lot of stuff in the park that's shot here, basically. The Dinosaurus Dip, Croc Lakes, the Bug House actually. So there was a commenter. I think his name is Scop. I'm gonna put it on screen. If it's not Scop, I am deeply sorry. I'll put it on screen though. He commented and said actually the Bug House from last episode was also just like an information center in Croc World, which I didn't even know. So he's more crazy than me knowing that stuff. Crazy guy, but good for him. He's really smart on this. He's commented a couple times, I think, and he always has something like I didn't know. He just shows me stuff about. He'll say this is where this was filmed. And I'll be like, oh, okay, didn't know that. Thank you very much. So I appreciate his comments a lot. But yeah, this is part of Croc World. It is a whale watching enclosure, not enclosure. It's a whale watching, what's the word I'm thinking of? Stand, tree walk. I don't know what to call it. A walkway, I guess, because it doesn't really go anywhere, and there's no actual like office space like in the show. That was just part of the show. It's just a straight through. You get to where midway through the bridge, and you can look out on the ocean. And in certain times of the year, there's whales there, which is really cool. And yeah, it was just, the problem with it is, people who go to Croc World are not there for whales, they are there for crocs. So, I have to be like, well, I gotta find just the bare minimum, just as much footage as I can. It'll be like 1 to 2 seconds, or a picture that someone's taken on this bridge. There's not a lot of it. Really, not a lot at all. So, I was really struggling to find out what I needed to do in order to make this look right. Eventually we got it down, it was fine, but it was a difficult challenge. So a lot of times in this one I'm going to definitely jump around a lot. I just kind of was like, wherever my brain takes me, I was going to build today. I kind of gave into my my ADHD tendencies there, But yeah, it's really it's a pretty simple structure, all things considered. We kind of just make the structure. We make different like modular pieces. So we make the railing, we make the roofs, we make the floor, it kind of mixed together. Here actually we're working on the actual office space, not just actual den here, which is literally the same thing. It's got the railing and stuff, but they've covered it up with like this orange, I don't know if it's like soft or hard or like I don't know what material it is basically. Yeah, I don't know what material it is. I have to figure that out. Had to figure it out, I'm messing up my words here. I had to figure out what materials it was basically, and it was like there's not really a good picture of this because it's only there for the show. There's nowhere anywhere else where they had this up. It's not like Croc World was like, oh, let's just leave what they put here. No, they need to let people see whales and stuff. So, but yeah, it had windows on the side, and there was a tarp in a couple of pictures draping over the the walkway, which was really something that got me, because I was like looking through footage, combing through it, and I would be like, okay, does this not go anywhere? Is this the last part and it's covered up past there, or are there more walkway parts? Because for some reason I didn't think to look at the map of Croc World, which had like a good diagram of exactly how it's shaped. So unfortunately I had to go off of pictures, and I was like, I can't figure it out at all, and it was so frustrating. But it was in the end we got it down proper. I figured it out all. Once I figured out the orientation, I was like, okay, this is easy. But it still took us a long time, which is why this episode is like 15 minutes longer than the others. So if you guys are sticking around that long, thank you very much. If you've left, perfectly fine. I understand. You know, this is a much longer episode than I'm used to. But I cut it down from 21 hours of footage, sped it up to 2 hours, and had to cut it down to like close enough to 30 minutes. And I was like, this is just so much. There's some stuff that is even cut out, which is like, I didn't cut out anything major. I didn't cut anything out where it was like, oh no, this is gonna make it completely confusing. But like, say like I build like a book, and then I build another book, and it's like almost the same looking book. I'm not gonna like make you look through both of those, because obviously you guys are gonna get bored. And I don't want you guys to leave, even though if you do, it's once again it's fine. But yeah. So anyways, the build itself. Let's talk about that. First thing we have here is his shelves and his table, and right now we're working on some props from the background. He has a couple of binders. Don't know what he keeps in there. Maybe files on each animal. Maybe he keeps, vet records. Maybe he keeps, information about his trips. Who knows? But he has a couple of them. They're different colors and stuff. Really interesting feature. And we kind of started this, and then we stop, and then we come back to it, because building that many props is just, it's really draining on your mental, So I just had to take some breaks and go to a different part of the build, and then come back to it every once in a while. As you can see, there was like a couple of cuts there, because I just couldn't keep it all in, because otherwise this video would be so long. But yeah, like I said, there's books here, different kinds of books. Honestly, I think I'll probably end up putting all of these on the workshop as like prop items for people, and probably I'll end up putting the whole den on as well. So if you guys want to check that out, it'll probably be in the description. So we basically finished that up, and yeah, I mean, one shelf done, many more to go, So this show just sort of doesn't come here very often. But for some reason, I remember it being such a like cool looking place. I guess because it's treetop, like house, tree house type beat, and every kid dreams to have a dinosaur park with a tree house, right? Who doesn't? I mean, maybe I'm just saying that because I watched the show as a kid, but if I was a kid and I had a tree house and there were dinosaurs around, I would be pretty excited. So it is I would say, one of the most iconic places in the park, probably right under the portal itself, because most of the most of the structures are very, very rudimentary. We've seen that. We've built a lot of them. Like, you have wooden fences, not a lot of like, fancy structures, because like at the end of the day, this isn't for visitors to come in and be like, look at the animals, like it would be at maybe a zoo or anything. This is a reserve. So really, as long as the animal is able to be happy and comfortable, and the staff are able to get to the creatures, and give them checkups and feed them and all that, it doesn't really matter if it looks a little bit strange. So strange? Am I going off the train of thought here? If it looks a little bit rudimentary, sorry, not strange. So yeah, this is probably one of the most iconic builds. I'm trying to think of what else is in the park other than this that would really be iconic, and I can only really think of the portals. But yeah, it's just about every episode he visits this place. He comes in here and he's like, this is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go after this animal in this time, and here's how we're gonna do it. And so yeah, so I think strangely the outliers are the last 2 episodes, which I guess that's good that they, you know, don't stay by the same formula the whole time. They sort of switched it up. And the reason for that is because in episode 5, he is in Scotland checking out Arthropleura tracks, and in episode 6, he comes to meet Bob at the Croc Lakes, which he shows him the skull and is like, look, I want to get a big, big crocodile. And then we know how the park ends. Everyone knows. Unfortunately, a little Troodon comes through and kind of breaks everything out, but in the end it's okay. So, yeah. Alright, so obviously you can see here, nothing here makes any sense, and that's okay. I was just trying to make sure each modular piece was like connected to the things it needed to be connected to and not to other things. That way I could move them around easy. So the railings are their own thing, or their walkways, and then the little rooms, I don't know if they're called rooms, the little stop area, I don't know what to call them, but those things are disconnected too, and they don't have to, if I move one of them, I don't have to worry about the others. So yeah, obviously we move some stuff around, get everything right. Now the problem with only having little types of footage is there are a lot of like industrial, what word am I thinking of? There's a lot of structural elements that I just can't really get proper. Like it took me forever to realize I had the walkway wrong in the middle, because all of their walkways, they kind of are at a diagonal. They kind of lead into the other instead of like going straight out from one. But the middle 2 huts, or whatever I'm going to call them, I guess I'll call them huts. Huts works. Yeah. It's just straight across. It's straight across, goes right into the other one. I actually figured out here, this is perfect. I am saying it at the same time as the other thing. And not long after that, I realized, okay, so that means that his den actually has to be the next one over, and one in the middle, because that's the only walkway that has a straight line. So I figured that out, luckily, and then I am able to fix that. So I really don't know what took me so long. It just, for some reason, I was just like completely off track. I was like, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can, just all over the place, and it was just very confusing to me. So hopefully going forward, this should be one of the most confusing ones because it's one of the least seen. And the other ones I feel like are very simple, like Bob's den. Bob's den? Bob has a den? No, Bob's workshop. Bob's workshop, it doesn't show up as that much, but it shows up enough and is small enough that it's not complicated at all. Like this one here, you don't get a view of the whole thing, so it's unfortunate. But Bob's den, I can't say it again. Bob's workshop. Bob's workshop is just one little hut. He's got his tools and stuff, and we can infer the rest. So yeah. So fun fact, actually, today that I'm recording this, I don't know if it's coming out today. Probably coming out a different day. It is May 3rd, I almost said May 5th. May 3rd, 2023, meaning that the first episode actually came out this day. And I think it probably, when did it come out? Probably, I would guess afternoon, I don't know. I'm not going to check. But today was the first day that the Triceratops episode came out. And that was that's so crazy to me that that came out a year ago? Like, jeez. And I've only made, what, 9 episodes maybe? Maybe not even that. I don't know. So, you know, that's not enough episodes for the time it's been, but hey, I'm working on it. Look, we got an episode out today, so hopefully that's good. But yeah, what was I gonna say about it? It's also been 1 year anniversary of the game itself. Prehistoric Kingdom has been out for a year, or early access has, which is awesome to see. It came a long way from there. I remember a lot of glitches. I actually looked back at the Triceratops episode recently, and I was like, these, it was so frustrating to build. If I recall, there wasn't any drag selection tool. It was all, you had to like click every piece you needed. and you couldn't just drag across, which was so like frustrating to work with. And different stuff like that. We also got a couple new creatures along the way, and more on the way. I know that they teased a couple in their Discord. They had a Velociraptor teaser, and they were teasing a couple of other things. But yeah, it's good to see. We're getting some new stuff in soon, hopefully. I would say the past year has not been... It hasn't been the most game-changing updates or anything, but they've definitely had a steady increase, which is good to see, because anyone who is in the dinosaur gaming community will tell you most of these games end up just scamming people. So, luckily, did not happen in this game yet. Maybe they just decide they're going to make a whole game and then scam people. Maybe, who knows. But, yeah, it's good to see the game coming around. I know the devs are very passionate about this game. They are working hard on it every day. And it has become one of my favorite games. Obviously, you can see from my channel over the past year, mostly Prehistoric Kingdom with a couple of other things here and there. But yeah, really glad the game has came so far. Yeah. So let's see what we're doing here. So far we've put the den on top of the hill here, so that way we can, get it right and not have it on flat ground. And we're working on the railways right now. So putting some foliage down. I really I love the foliage, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I'm looking for the right foliage to match the footage, and it's just like, there's not a single thing that looks like this plant. And I'm not expecting them to put every single plant that exists in the game, because that would be so many options that we don't need. But I really hope that we can get some new plants going forward. We have new plants, we're getting new plants, but it's just need some South African set, please. Something like Nigel's Park and everything. Give me some South African sets or something. Somehow, I don't know, just for me, update the entire game, just because I need a certain piece. But anyways, I do that a lot, and I had to cut it out a lot from the footage. I didn't cut that one out. If you didn't notice, I just, for some reason, a lot of the time I would lose track of what I was doing, and I would literally just start walking down the walkways just all the way around over and over and over again. And I was just doing it, and I was like, we could have saved so much time cutting out footage if you had just walked, and not walked, if you had not walked and just did the build. But I just kept getting my mind kept wandering, and I was like, this is really cool, and look at that, and it's just ugh. But in the end, we got the footage done, so 45 minutes worth too, so yeah. Alright, I didn't get the hammock in. Oh, that sucks. The hammock, it's really simple, nothing spectacular. It's literally, you take the curved rope piece, you rotate it around both ways, and you get a pretty nice hammock. It's pretty simple, nothing crazy. And now we're working on a chair. I was thinking that there were chairs in the game. I guess I was thinking of benches or something, but I could have sworn there were some chairs in the game. I was like, oh yes, easy way out. But nothing's easy for me ever. I can never have anything go easy for me. So I ended up having to make a custom chair here. Not even a very good custom chair. I just couldn't figure out. I don't work for the IKEA company. I don't make the instructions to make chairs, so I was just like, this looks right. So yeah. We put a chair down, put another chair down, easy stuff. We put the rugs down where they are in the show, and then we work on this little box. I don't know what he has in there. Maybe he has, a dinosaur figurine. Maybe he is a big fan of collecting Jurassic Park toys from back in the day. Who knows? But just these little details here we're adding in just to make it feel like an actual picture of Prehistoric Park and not just a build in a video game. So here we are working on a bird cage. I assume he puts like a bird in there. Maybe he put something else in there. At first I thought it was like a really like fancy like outdoor shelf or something. Like, it's hard to explain what I was thinking it was, but I don't know. For some reason I thought it was like a fancy like shelf. So that's what I was going for at first, and I was like, oh wait, that's a bird cage. I'll just do that because that's easier. Lo and behold, way easier. But I put it in there. I guess I thought that each one of those the rows of circles, what did you call it? I guess row is right because it goes across. I thought each one of those was like a shelf part, and there was a part in the middle holding them all up. I was wrong. So yeah, we got it right. In the end, we put that there. Nice little cage. If only I had like a parrot to go in there or something. Or a macaw, or what's the one he has in the show? I know it's like a red and blue something maybe. I forget. But yeah, moving on. We bought the chair over here for his den, but it is a different chair. So we use it as a base to already have a chair shape and not have to make it from scratch, and then we started building it here. And Nigel, bit of a critique here for you. This looks like the most uncomfortable chair ever. It's these little tiny elbow rests, but nothing else. It doesn't look comfortable. If I was sitting here having to plan stuff all day, I would want a comfy chair. But you know, maybe he likes the chair. I don't know. But yeah, we just sort of do this. We shrink it down a little bit because it looked a little long. And yeah, it's a chair. I mean, what else am I supposed to say about it? But yeah, like I said, I kept getting these little tiny like details put in. I don't know, just kept doing them. And it was like, do I really need to do this? No. Do I want to do this? Yes. Which is why it ended up being so long. So now we're just putting foliage up. Trying to preserve the view of the ocean, the little view of the ocean. Not as impressive as the real Croc World, my view here, but I do have a little ocean view here, so it is accurate. But yeah, I had to get rid of those, like, the big trees. I think it was kapok trees. Get rid of those because they're too tall and they were obscuring our view. And yeah. So here's something really cool I did. I used these plant pieces as a little bit of a overgrown feel. I used bingo bamboo, I used a lot of arrowwood bushes, a lot of temperate stuff, and I kind of made it look overgrown, which is something I've done in other games like Planet Zoo, but I've never thought to do here for some reason. I guess maybe this is the first time I've actually been able to do that, you know, use it properly. I maybe am going to go around and do that in more places in the park that need it, but I thought it was super cool, really cool way to use the foliage. You can sink the bamboo into the ground to hide the stalks, and then it can work as like some generic bush, you know. But yeah, just to sell that vibe that he's in the middle of this forest, which he's in. Now we are moving on to his personal computer, and because it's 2007, it is a box television, not computer, television. I don't know why I said computer. I guess because it's on a desk like this and it's a chair in front of it. I'm thinking of computers. No, it's a box TV, and I got the shape probably wrong, but I was like, you know, we can't get everything perfect here, and to save time, I was like, you know what, this looks good enough. We'll do it that way. And I don't even know if I filmed the whole thing. I think no, I don't think I did. Which, not a big deal. It's really simple. Just do that, and then I covered up the sides, as you can see. Yeah. So then we move on. We work on his mini papers on the wall, and I was looking at the footage. I forgot the park map. So there is no park map up, but also, how would you expect me to do a park map? I'll definitely get around to it eventually. I will make sure there is a park map. I swear to it. And if that is a lie, if you come back in another year and I'm on episode 12 because I don't make enough of these episodes enough, and there's no park map, you can call me out on it. You can call me out. You can say, hey, you're a liar. You did not do what you said you would do. And I will be shocked that you remembered. But yeah, I didn't go into much detail on these. They have a lot of like writing and stuff on them. I just kind of like inferred stuff. I made a little more detail on some of them. Obviously, we have a world map here, and yeah, put that in, moved it around, made it look good. There's also a little calendar on like the side covered up by the world map, which I don't get. Why would you cover your calendar with your world map? You put them beside each other. Are you a madman? But yeah, here I am making that little calendar. I didn't really detail like the words, just because I felt like it would look too cluttered for a video game. If I'm like backed up and I can see like little tiny letters and stuff, I would feel like, okay, that's way too much detail, and it looks cluttered, and it already looks pretty cluttered. So hopefully that's good enough. Hopefully that's accurate enough for all of the fans out there of the series. They don't want to like, you know, light pitchforks on fire over this, but yeah, I thought it looked pretty decent. Here we're making a little lampstand, which I made out of an upside down basket. Not much to say about it. It's pretty simple. 3 pieces, 4 if you count the light, and it's sitting up on these like, it's actually up on books. I figured that out later, but I did put it on the wrong thing first. It's a different stack of books and things. So yeah, here I am making his what's the word? Man, I can't remember. I'm trying to think of what you would call this in 2007. It's either a DVD player or it's a VCR. I don't think it's a VCR. It might be a VCR and I'm just stupid. Looks like a DVD player more to me, so maybe he had a DVD player, maybe he was fancy like that, who knows. So yeah, I put in way too much detail for it to be like that. It's no one's looking that closely to a VCR, DVD player, whatever it is. I'm gonna guess actually DVD player, because on top I think it's like a VCR player. So I guess he has both, yeah. Because back in the day, I remember everybody had like had both and not one or the other. Nowadays, do people even have DVD players? I feel like streaming services have kind of taken that over, honestly. But yeah, I put in too much detail on this too, obviously. You know, not as much detail. I didn't go overboard because there were a lot more details I could have added, but I was like, yeah, I think it's good for now. It's so tiny. Who's really gonna be looking? But yeah. Put everything up like that. Little tiny lamp there is... I just... Little aside here. That lamp was so annoying because for some reason I couldn't figure out... I kept like unmerging and merging groups to make it move together and only it. But every time I would do it, I just ended up doing the same exact thing, and like one of the pieces would be in the wrong spot, and I was like, come on. So yeah. But anyways, now we're moving on to the lampstand, his little Pixar kind of lamp. I don't know what they are actually called. Like a swing lamp. They're on like a little thing you can swing around, you know, and put it right over you. It's a pretty big one actually. So yeah, I did that. At first, I built it kind of half off Prehistoric Park, half off reference of another one. But then I was like, it doesn't look the same in the show. And I found better reference pictures from certain clips. I was mainly looking at Saving the Sabertooth. But I actually realized that the lamp also shows up in, I want to say, it's either Dino Birds or Mammoth, I can't think of the name of the episode, oh no. The Mammoth episode, episode 2. Mammoth Journey, no, that's Walking with Beasts. Mammoth, I'm slipping in old age or something. No, one of the episodes anyways, there's like a chameleon crawling along it. They don't slither. Crawling along the thing, he like moves it on his shoulder. It's really cool. And he just sort of, yeah, it's a good little view, so I got it more accurate than if I just looked at the references on the internet of lamps like those. So hey, you can dock points on some things for accuracy, but you can't on my lampstand. My lampstand is perfectly accurate. And yeah, Here I'm working on the actual light. I figured out in a minute. I go through a couple of rough drafts, and then finally I figure out, yeah, we'll put that in there, and it looks good enough. I wish there wasn't a crease, but hole. Crevice, that's the word I'm thinking of. I wish there wasn't a crevice, but I mean, what are you gonna do? It looks perfect, as long as you're not looking over the top. And even then, I mean, maybe that's how lamps look. I don't know. I don't own a lamp like that, so who knows. But yeah, I put it over, looking straight down onto his work. I can't think of the words. I'm a mess today. His workspace. That's the word. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I put it up. You're being nice and good looking, and not much to say. It's a lamp. Like, it's a lampstand. I went overboard on a lampstand, like I did on a chair and a globe, and you know, I didn't go over. I held myself back on the globe. I take that back, because I was planning to put the whole globe on and put like continents and stuff. But I was like, you know what? I have to get this video out. So yeah, I'm absolutely going back to this build at some point, probably as a little extra bit on one episode or another, because there's like areas where there needs to be more clutter. His office does not look cluttered enough in mine, and it infuriates me because he has clutter, you know? He's a cluttery dude, like most dudes are. They just sort of throw stuff wherever it lands on their desk. Obviously, like, there's a certain extent to that. I'm not saying he's like a awful, like, unclean person, but it's just, you know, I know where my paper is if I throw it to my left. If I put my paper in like a drawer, I'll be searching like all day, every day. So it's a lot easier there to just throw it on your desk right where you're working all the time so you can find it. So yeah. Working on his little tree here. I don't know what kind of tree it was. I scaled down one tree, and because it was an actual full-size tree, it kind of has some weird glitches. It flies so fast, like way faster than the normal trees do, and it also has like weird stretching on the limbs, which I don't understand. A strange effect, but who cares? It looks good. It looks honestly better than I was expecting me to be able to do without like an actual bonsai type tree in the game. I thought it turned out pretty nice. And then here he's got a collection of, I'm assuming, teeth, maybe bones. I don't know what kind of bones he has. I just put in the only bones that would really fit, because all the other bones in the game are like skulls and stuff, which would make sense to have that tiny of, unless it's like a really small like animal. But we have a T-Rex and a mammoth skull, so that wouldn't make much sense. But yeah, we put that over there, and I want to say next we work on the magnifying glass, right? Yep, right here. So he has a little magnifying glass too. He uses, I guess, to look at his fossils, look at stuff up close. It's interesting. I wish there was like clear material in this game, because like there's like wood, there's metal and stuff, but there's no like glass just for the walls and stuff. I really need like that. Actually, no, I scratched that. There is wall glass pieces. I mean more art pieces that can be like glass or something. Up here in the show, Nigel has this really like red and black filing cabinet, and it was so strange to see. I was like, that's a strange color. I've never seen a filing cabinet like that before. Filing cabinet. I think I said filing cabinet. Filing cabinet like that before. So for some reason, it reminded me of a gaming computer. So maybe Nigel is a secret gamer. You know, he's playing Prehistoric Kingdom with the rest of us somewhere, posting on his secret account on the Discord. Who knows? He has a flashlight too, and I made that because, you know, why not? I just put way too much work into such little obscure things. Yep, that is a flashlight. It works too, it's functioning, so. And there you have it. You can see the plant there, just shaking like crazy compared to the rest of the plants. Maybe it's cold, maybe it's shivering, who knows. So here's where I actually try to make a good-looking desk and not just a block of wood. I actually look at the pictures in the show and I'm like, okay, this desk goes like this. So I fix that up properly. Well, not yet, obviously not. Look, it's just floating there. That's not how it works. I wait, and then I do it at some point. And I'm just so frozen here. I don't know why this is like this. Wait, hello? Hello, me? There we go. So yeah, here I'm working on the desk. Put the back in. I don't think I caught on footage me putting the actual sides and stuff in, but it's a desk. I mean, everybody knows what a desk looks like, I hope. But yeah, I'm starting to clutter up his desk now, put some stuff up there. Here I'm making a ruler and a... what's the word of those? Folder. And a mug. He has some pencils and stuff in. So yeah, looks pretty nice. Didn't go once again. Sorry, I'm gonna get so much hate because I didn't put in the actual inches on the ruler. But hey, I did consider it. I was like, how is the best way? How do I measure an inch, a perfect inch, in this game? What's the easiest way to do that? How can I measure out exactly an inch? Didn't end up doing it because, you know, I value my time to not do that, but one day maybe I'll do it. Who knows? So here I made an open file. So that was... I thought that was a nice little touch. I thought it was really cool to just sort of like have it open. Kind of environmental storytelling. You know, he's got an open thing here. Maybe it's his next mission, you know. Something like that. And then I move on to making pencils. So simple pencils. I don't make the normal colored ones. Really, it's not even a full pencil. I didn't make it like have letter or anything. I just made it to stick out of the cup. So yeah. Moving around a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing here. So anyways, here I got a stack of papers and yeah, I don't know what to say about it, honestly. Cluttering up the space, obviously. It looks very nice. It looks very lived in, which is the goal I was going for. Add a couple of books in he might have been reading, which I don't know. He has a lot of books. There's one I can't think of the name. It was like Collier's not dictionary, encyclopedia maybe, something like that. And he has like so many of those books. It's like insane. Like almost every book on that bookshelf over there or something is like those books, and it's like holy moly, man. He's a big fan of that book though, apparently. So yeah. Onto the map. So went overboard here, made a simple map. It's not very detailed. I lied. It's not really overboard. I just use a bunch of circles to kind of paint almost. It works for the most part. If you look from the side though, you can definitely see that they kind of stick up from the pieces stacking on each other. But it works for the most part, and you're not really seeing that from that angle almost ever, so I was okay with that. But yeah, getting all the continents as they were 65 million years ago. I feel like I could probably go more detailed, but honestly, it works for what it is. I don't need to, so I just left it as is. I didn't even add that many colors in. At the time, it was pretty warm at that time, so there's not really much snow, and so I just kind of left it at desert colors. So you can see there. Actually, no, there I put some light green. I think I changed that in the end, or maybe I don't. I don't remember. Who knows? No, I don't. Maybe, I don't know. Strange. I don't remember. I thought I changed it, but oh well. But yeah, adding a little compass in, and here we are. 65, one of the movies that exists. Probably one of the movies, you know. We put that in, and then we put the logo in, exactly as it is in the actual thing. So I think that's super cool. Definitely go in the workshop too. That's gonna go in the workshop. So here we are on the road up to the Nigel's Den. So the reason we're here is because there is a specific scene where he's leaving and he drives off, and as soon as it's the next scene after he leaves his den, he's here. So I'm gonna assume it's close enough to A, Titanosaur treetops, and then B, Nigel's Den, that it's good to be here. So I best guessed where this should be. It's really just a road piece. It shouldn't be like, you know, I don't think it needs the most accuracy. I tried to give it accuracy, you know, I figured out in my head, you know, where it really should be. But in the end, obviously, this could really just go anywhere, I think, and no one would really be upset about me doing that, right? I'd hope you guys wouldn't be. So yeah, now, the Microraptors, I really don't spend too much time on here, just because we don't see them at all in their actual enclosure. So this is based off Croc World, what I'm doing here. They have like a little netted area with like a fence, a little gate too, but we don't see them at all, which is really strange to me. We see they stand with Nigel, he feeds them on top of the den, so he lets them out sometimes for some reason. And then the vet surgery scene where they're looking at his wing and they're healing it. They put a little like stint. What's the word I'm thinking of? I can't think of the word right now I'm thinking of. You know, the thing that keeps their like wing straight to heal it. It's not stint. I don't know what a stint is. But yeah, we never see it, so I'm not exactly sure where it goes here. Obviously, it goes in Nigel's Den because why would the bird be there? So I based it off Croc World best I could, but there's just no pictures of actually in Croc World. The closest I got was that gate there, and I couldn't see anything inside of there or like of what's in there to like decorate it. So I just, you know, I best guessed it. And hey, maybe they even go under the thing and that's like its own separate area. I don't know. I just figured it out as best I could, and as best as the game would let me with the Microraptor aviary size, so I just sort of did that. And I think it turned out okay. Here we're making it look like it's an actual like tree. Looking at it now, not the biggest fan of like how round it looks. Every single like clump of leaves looks like completely round. So I'll definitely fix that at some point. That's gonna do it for the speed build. In just a second here, we will be moving on to the cinematics. And that's going to do it for today, guys. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.